Hey guys, it's Avondale, and welcome back to another episode of Behind the Walls, where I take you behind the walls of the Noxcrew Game Show. I'd like to remind you, as always, if you haven't seen today's episode yet, make sure to click the link in the top right-hand corner of the screen so we don't spoil it for you. Now that you've had a chance to do that, I'd like to welcome in my guest for today. It is Gregan.
Woo! Boink. Hello.
Good aim. You landed like right in front of me.
I'm always good at aiming.
No kidding. Like, we didn't even plan that. I was just like, go above me and then drop down, and he just showed up. Well done.
Great minds think alike.
No
That's
kidding.
How it works.
So we're here today to talk about Bomber Team, and we're gonna try to not talk about the gameplay for like 3 minutes so we can talk about how we remade this map, but and then we'll get into the gameplay as well.
Yeah. The gameplay is probably one of the coolest things about this, but
yeah,
the big part you might have noticed when Bomber Team came on is that it looks completely different to how it did before.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the main part of that was making it look better. So you can see we've got the blue, white, and yellow design, which is kind of fairly standard game show, but we tried to make it a little bit more modern game show, so less checkerboard and all that kind of thing. We also opened it up quite a lot because we felt the original Bomber Team was a bit too tight corridors, and you also see at the back here where they come out of all this extra space, and that used to be part of the map. In fact, this front door used to be right at the back, and we kind of cut a lot of that out because we felt it was too big and people would run around a lot and not interact, whereas you noticed in this game, I shouldn't speak about that yet, but people come across each other a lot more. Then we also had to redesign the whole floor, which was a bit of a palaver. So if you come down, Avon, and we'll break a little hole in, there's lots of redstone torches, but because we changed where all these walls were, and underneath these walls there's not actually redstone torches, and all the space that we had to redesign had to be newly torched up, which was a bit of a challenge.
For sure.
We also added some cobwebs on the side, which, again, I won't talk about what happened with them, but they can affect players earlier on. Anything else about the... Oh yes, if you look around, you'll notice how there's still these old-fashioned walls going up to infinity. This was literally just before, probably the last game to be redesigned, just before we started utilising stadium designs, like shooting down and all those kind of ones.
Mm-hmm.
So, in hindsight, probably would have done a stadium design for this, but I think it works.
Yeah, well, it's important to mention that when this game was redesigned, it wasn't redesigned for game show recording. It was redesigned for Insomnia, and it was actually coded with a plugin so that they could play it and TNT wouldn't destroy blocks. So probably the biggest challenge for this game using it for recording was when they brought this to me and said, "Can we do this game in vanilla?" And I said, "Well, let me get back to you." And I thought about it for a while, and I was trying to balance the pros and cons of doing it in vanilla and would it play the same way. And we ended up just trying it, and I think it actually worked out fantastically.
Yeah, it's a really good way to play the game compared to how it went before. How every time we played it from the redesigning, after redesigning it just seemed to always have an exciting game, and that was always quite a good bonus. Having this game after Insomnia to utilise for the game show.
Oh jeez, that was surprising. I tried to teleport myself under the floor, and I teleported myself under both floors. And I don't have night vision, so there we go. Okay. Yeah, I just wanted to show off the redstone really quick and how it really wasn't that complicated. Not a lot of stuff going on down here. It just got played. It never got reset after it got played. Let's do that. Yeah, really simple. If you guys didn't catch in the episode, it was the TNT is an entity after it lights itself. So after a certain lifetime in it, let's see if I can figure out which one it is. Not worth it. Oh, this one right here. It's killing the TNT when it reaches a lifetime of 79. So it's alive for 79 ticks. It explodes on the 80th tick. so it gets killed right before that. And right before that happens, it executes on it, summoning the creeper. And the creeper would be invisible, but it's always visible for the first tick that it spawns in. So sometimes you saw it before it blew up in the video, but that's how we did it with creepers.
That's really cool. I was not expecting you to say that. I thought you just turned off TNT explosions or something.
Nope. If you turn off TNT explosions, it doesn't blow up, it doesn't hurt people, which kind of makes this game impossible. And then the supply drops we did here were actually, they were based on the timer mechanism that we use at the spawn chunk, and they were just summoned minecarts. It's actually this one I had Skyo do those commands, because the day we were doing this, finishing this game up, I was really busy doing like 9 other things. I was just like, you just do these please and make them work, and she came to the rescue for sure. Alright, so we're back up inside the game lobby, and I figured we'd better finally talk about this this game, and was that entertaining or what?
There's just so much variety in gameplay. Like, with games like this, you're just worried that everyone's going to die the same way, people are just going to run around loads, but everyone almost got trapped in different ways.
Yeah, exactly. They and by everyone you mean 50 Shades of Awesome.
Yeah.
Poor guys. Yeah, they got steamrolled in this match, and Ungentlemen are looking awful scary right now. So you're standing in the first spot there.
The Patch Warrior patch.
Yeah. But interesting fact to mention, we found out during testing that the cobwebs were blocking the creeper blasts. There was really no way we could have got around that, unfortunately, so we just kind of had to let it happen. And that's why you'll notice the commentators say it during the episode when he's not dying, because we're all sitting there going, why isn't he dead yet? What's going on? But yeah, it was the cobwebs block creeper damage.
Yeah, I mean, just the lead up to that play, what Ungentlemen did is they spread out, and based on where one of the blue team was going, they would communicate with each other and tell them to corner them from another side. So with a situation like this, you've got a big wall here, and if they're running blind around the corner, then there was always someone there ready to catch them, to either turn them round or block them off. And eventually they got them to a point here where they came round this corner, and then there was someone here ready to blow them up, and then they got sent flying into the cobwebs. And that's the kind of tactic you have to use in Bomb Team. It has to be communicated sandwiching, essentially.
Yeah.
And then
you have to place the TNT where they're going to be in, what, 4 seconds? Or however long it takes to blow up, and that's the tricky part.
And you can't do that by chasing. The only way you can do that is by knowing where they're going to run and then blocking them off. And then once they had them in the cobwebs, they kind of just packed around it like a pack of tigers or something, like waiting for it to come out so they could kill it.
Yeah.
It was just waiting for it to get to a point where they could just plant all the TNT at their feet and then they're gone. So that was pretty impressive.
Yeah. I mean, every kill they had in this round was impressive.
Yeah. And I think you can really hear it through the audio. You can hear the communication. And unfortunately for 50 Shades of Awesome, they tried communicating, but it all just kind of overwhelmed them, because Ungentlemen just came out chasing, didn't they? Straight off the bat, they were looking...
Yeah, they absolutely did, and they had 50 Shades on their heels, and that's the tough part. I mean, there is a certain... Like, if they'd been able to get far enough out ahead, they could have placed blocks in front of them. You know, like if I'm running like this, if I place a block like as far out as I can, that's going to give as much time as possible for my chaser to catch up to it before it explodes without running past it. And I don't know, they could have tried it, but I don't even know if that would have helped, because Ungentlemen were just so good at this game, despite having only played it for the first time that time. You know, it's that's one thing that we always tend to forget about when we watch these games, is we expect these teams to put on, you know, quality strategies and to excel really well, and every once in a while we have a game where they do that like this, but a lot of the time we have games where they get confused during it, or they don't know the strategy 100% right off, and that's because they literally learn the rules to the game 5 minutes before they play it.
Yeah, we often hint at some strategies, especially in games where a strategy might be quite tough. So for a good example of that is something like Pyramid. We kind of tell them that once you get halfway through the time, you've got far enough away that you know that you got there in that half time, so you should be able to get back in that half time.
Yeah.
And it's stuff like that. We kind of hint at them,
and it's difficult to hint and not tell.
Yeah, because we want them to utilize their own tactics, because otherwise you're just watching two teams play the same strategy.
Yeah.
But this game is definitely one where everyone could play it differently. And 50 Shades just didn't find their way that would work for them.
A good example of that is back in Pipeline Pursuit from last episode. We told them that the mechanics had to use the buttons to let the engineers pass through the course. We didn't say you have to push each button, because we wanted them to figure out on their own that they needed to push each button multiple times. And it's just sort of goes to the sort of the awareness of Ungentlemen, is because their mechanics looked out and noticed when they had to hit buttons multiple times, whereas 50 Shades, they just sort of hit it and then ran back. Yep. All in all, a great first round played by 50 Shades. Second round, they kind of ran into a steamroller, though. Ungentlemen are looking awful scary sitting in their spot in the finals right now.
Yeah, Ungentlemen definitely have that PvP intelligence behind them. They always work out how to work together as a team.
For
whilst
sure.
Utilizing.
And actually, thinking about that, we
skills.
talked about their multiple traps, but we have to specifically call out the final kill of that match because, oh my goodness. Keep in mind, most of the tech chat that's watching is watching it from this angle right up here, and we see the last blue guy, it was Demented Metal, right? We see him disappear around the left wall there, and we see all of a sudden this gigantic line of cobwebs just appear through here, and we're like, oh! And everybody just started screaming in the tech chat because we all knew it was over. It was like the greatest pincer strategy of all time.
Hey, he's getting hunted down.
Hey, I've got 25 cobwebs, one sec.
You're in front of them now, there's one right next to you.
Oh Alright, Zwitty, chase him, I'm putting down a load of cobwebs.
Unbelievable!
Do it! He's gotta get stuck, he's gotta get stuck.
Yellow team's toying with their prey as they just leave them there to die. Oakley boxing him in.
Got him.
That was insane! Holy God!
GG, guys.
To get, and they knew they won too. It was just, oh man, what an ending.
That all came from their build-up through the game. They kind of tactically cornered off the supply area so that they could build up the supplies of arrows, which they utilised early on in the second kill to just finish him off.
Yeah, and you'll hear them mention as well that they got their first supply drop. They got both sides. Like it popped out, I believe, on opposite corners, so there and there. And they managed to get both of them. And then right before he did that, you heard one of them say, "Oh, geez, I have like 25 cobwebs right now," and he just goes over it. It was game over.
Yeah, I mean that's part of the game. Is you got to think about short term and long term, because this game is won through cobwebs and arrows. If you manage to get more than the other team, and that definitely showed in that last kill by the fact that he kind of cornered him off. It was the other thing about it that was quite interesting is how when 50 Shades came around the corner, they saw that this part was blocked off just here, so they tried to run around here, and there was one block gap, and because he had so many cobwebs, he could just get that last little one in and stop him from sneaking out.
Yeah.
But had they only had 5 or 6, they'd block off this little bit here, and then easy peasy, you can just get around the edge.
Yeah, exactly.
All that stockpiling.
And to be fair, I don't know how he placed 25 cobwebs that accurately that fast. I mean, especially because it's limited on where you can place them. You can only place them on the clay blocks. You can only place TNT on the clay blocks as well, is another point. But yeah, just the fact that he managed to get over here and just make a thick enough path that the guy couldn't get through is wow.
Yeah, it's impressive.
Looking awful scary going into the finals for sure. So yeah, thanks to Gregan for coming on the show and talking with me about Bomber Team.
Yeah, it's been fun. Definitely one of my favourite games to redesign.
Yeah, and it was one of the best games to watch live for sure this season. One of the more oh boy.
Ah! Oh wait, it blows up the ground.
And that's what happens when you don't have the clock turned on.
Aww.
Alright, so anyways, Gregan's gonna get to work fixing this. And I'll see you next time. I've been Avondale, thanks for watching.
See ya. May have just placed the TNT.
Why would you do that?
I just wanted to see whether it blows
Shmoo!
up.
You should know. Oh my god.
It's fine, I did it right by loads of rules, so it made a big hole.